Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Elevation Podcast, a Stairway to Recovery Journey. I'm Nicole. I'm sitting along with
Tina.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Ricky.
And we have Tina as our lovely guest today, who has come to share her experience, strength, and hope in her recovery journey. She's a peer leader at Stairway, and she has a lot of good upcoming things going on, so pay attention to the face. Tina, you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Wow, where should I start?
Start with your childhood.
My childhood, okay. Well, I was born in California, Orange County. My father was a sergeant in the Marine Corps. And we moved to Boston, Massachusetts when I was 10 years old. And
So,
from
as a child from the military, did you move around a lot?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. I really don't remember a lot, but I just remember that we was always, one time we was in North Carolina, South Carolina, and then we came to Boston, and then the movement stopped. I think my father had did his 3 terms then, and back then they weren't giving veterans houses, so we went into Jamaica Plain Projects, and then from there, my father he started his job. He was one of the first black men that started getting into lead paint poisonings in the urban communities.
Okay.
He worked for the state for many years. So when I was, all I can remember was when I was younger, something happened to me when I was on the base in California, and they had to fly me into Boston, and they couldn't figure out what it was, but they found out what it was. It was in Camp Lejeune. The water was poisoned. So I'm one of the candidates that got poisoned out there.
Oh.
Wow.
So with that, my father got into medicine, where he got into the poisoning in the urban communities, and he started learning how to go into different communities and go after the big politicians that was building these houses with lead paint poison in them. And he was demanding them to tear them down, because most of the kids were black in the black urban communities. And then from there, we moved to Dorchester.
So wait, let me just interrupt you for 1 second, because I know a little bit about your story, and I do know that you have a very strong conviction of your father's influence on the family in terms of his social media, not media, but his social...
Some of his platforms. You want me to get into a couple?
Thank you.
I really don't want to go that, but we're going to go that route. Also, when my mother and my dad moved here from California, they brought some of the Black Panthers up here. And my father was also into the movement where he started the Black Panther breakfast in Jamaica Plain, where we was going down there feeding the community. My mother was into making our clothes, so for many years I couldn't figure out like where I fit in, because I grew up with dashikis and, Afro puffs, nappy hair, and so I think that played a part where I started to navigate towards the bad people, the people that was getting in trouble, to try to figure out where I was
Did you grow up with substance abuse around you?
Yes, it was very highly, like partying was a lot. Like I seen a lot of my mother's brothers and sisters it was like that generation got wiped out through alcohol, because I also come from a background of Native Indian. And when I go deep into my history, I look back and I look at my mother's mother, like how they used to live, like it just was alcohol and parties and,
So
and
if I could ask you, what age did you start indulging?
13 years old, I started, probably it was like stealing my dad's weed from his room. Because also my dad he was into a lot, weed and houses and real estate. So he was busy flying around and doing a lot of things. And so he was really strict, because I was also brought up in the family business. My father had a restaurant that was called Let's Do It Again Seafood, where he had a boat. Yes, we had a boat, and we also...
So you actually fish for the seafood fresh?
Yes, fresh seafood. So to me, it was a punishment. You was either dancing, or you was in ballet, you was doing something that was positive, or you was down the store scaling fish. I choose to be bad. Like I choose to hang out with the people that weren't going to classes. They were skipping classes and doing other things. So I literally stayed on punishment, especially through my whole middle school. I was always on punishment.
So I know you said you started at 13. Now, when you first started, was it more of a social like aspect to it, or
It
were
was
you
more like two pokes and we pass and we laugh and we giggle. My addiction really didn't kick in until like I was 16 and I got into a bad accident on my moped, and I actually went into the hospital and I fractured the biggest bone in your body, which is the femur, which when I was in the hospital, they came to my dad and they said that your child is addicted to opiates and it's because of the hospital, and we got to find a way how to like detox me from the medication. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't pay attention to it. I just went on with life. I went through my injury, went back to dancing and modeling, and didn't pay it to no attention. And then I started having my children, and then I got introduced to prescription drugs like pain pills, and then, you know, I just went on and on. Not to say that I choose to write. My first kid's father was like one of the biggest drug dealers in Boston, and by the time I was 27 years old, he got murdered, and I was left with 4 girls. So then the prescription came more because now I'm dealing with post-traumatic stress. And back then the doctors was just pushing Xanax and Klon, any type of pill, because they really didn't know how to deal with trauma or anything. They just pushed pills. And so with that, I just got into them more and more and more until my family stepped in.
So when did you recognize that you had an issue? Because I know the family can recognize, but it takes a lot for the person themselves to also notice it as well.
I come from a family where like we're really family oriented, where we get together and I would show up and my kids would be all together looking nice and neat, and then I would show up and I would just be looking a mess, tired, or just put together, thinking because my hair was done and my clothes was clean, that I was looking well, but I wasn't looking well because I was like a size 2. And I stayed real skinny for many years during my drug use.
So is it safe to say that you started with the prescription drugs and then it moved forward into harder drugs later on in the years coming? Which two did you land on that you would say were the most problematic and that led you towards getting into a recovery situation or going to a detox on your own? You mind telling us just a little bit about that?
I didn't pick up like the pills until I was like about 27.
Okay.
But the weed was there, but I didn't, it wasn't something that I liked to do because it always made me feel a certain way. But when the moment presented itself, like if I was going to the clubs, hanging out with other people, I would smoke it, For me, to realize I had a problem, I had to be Section 35 then.
Okay.
But
all right. Section 35 is, you mind explaining what that
It's
what
when
that
your
means?
families come in and they feel like your life is unmanageable and
Appeal to the courts, right?
Yes.
I've had that too.
I
so.
think I've had 6 of them.
Okay. And so let me rephrase. So we met actually in a further treatments where I got a chance to meet you. And like I said, I know a little bit about your story, but for those who don't know it, we met at the Edwina Martin House. It's a halfway house here in Brockton, Massachusetts. So just right before I met you, like how did you get there? Did that spawn from a Section 35 or was that from a different avenue, a different pathway?
That was from a totally different avenue.
Okay.
I've had some sustained clean time, and at this point, I was at my breaking point where like I was either gonna die or my family was going to my family was gonna have to come bury me. And I've never been Narcan, and I went to a place where my husband had passed away, and it was a different type of pain that hit. Like I tried to do everything to manage that emotion, and the only thing that would take it away was a opiate at that time because that was a familiar place. I had 10 years at this time, and I had to find that place. But trying to find that place, I found myself losing myself. I mean, the drugs had changed, the people had changed. Like it just wasn't doing what it used to do for me. You know, I couldn't stay up the nights like I used to stay up. I used to be able to stay up for 5 nights. I was staying up for like maybe 7 hours and falling asleep. I was being robbed. They were breaking in my house, stealing the things. You know, it just got terrible at this time. And then the last time is that I had got Narcan, and I remember my daughters was banging on my door, and my son came over my house, and he actually smacked somebody, pushed somebody off the chair. I had some scars on my face, and they was concerned, like, what happened to you? Did you get jumped? I couldn't even recall what happened. So I had to find a way because I wanted to love myself. I wanted to be back in that place where my happy place was, and I knew the only way I can do it, I needed to have reached out for help. And then I called the ambulance. They picked me up, and I got medically cleared. I went to Project Concern, which is at Boston Medical Center.
Okay.
And actually, the lady that was there, she says, Tina, I'm looking at you. I know you want some help.
Yeah.
I know what you can do. I've seen the things that you've done in this community, she says, and don't hurt yourself no more. Won't you just take the help? And then they called treatment center, and I said, okay, I went. And I went to Plymouth High Point. And when I got there, it was something that was different this time. Like, I kept going in, and within 1 year, I was Section 35 twice. Yes. Wow. So from May all the way to January, I was Section 35 twice, and I was Narcan 3 times.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I am really grateful to be sitting here to be able to tell my story. You know, even though I have so many other stories, this is just a little bit of my story. When we was talking about trauma informed today at the Recovery Center, it kicked up a lot of things that I went through. Like I started thinking about the first trauma where I got hit by the car on my moped. Back then, your parents don't take that as trauma.
Right.
No, they don't.
My father took that as a situation that happened and we about to get rich.
Yeah.
For real, because, you know, by the time I was 19 years old, I had over $150,000, but I blew through every single bit of that money. So, you know, money don't make you happy.
Yeah.
It never fixed all that post-traumatic stress.
So Tina, just to get a little bit more clarity, when I met you, you were already this beautiful package. So I got to see the finished product, or actually a work in progress, because you're doing a lot in the community. I met you, like I said, at the Edwina Martin House, and then you prompted me to become a member of Stairway to Recovery. So you do actually spread a lot of hope. So having said that, just can you tell me what that looks like for you? And then I think Ricky's going to ask you some further questions about actually what you really do at the center.
Wow. For me, hope at this point in my life, is helping people and continue to do the thing that I've always loved to do, like just being of service to like that person that is going through some type of trauma or some type of pain that I've already witnessed and I've already went through. Like, even like me being a mom, having 6 kids and 7 grandchildren, some women don't know that you can get treatment when you have your children, because we have to be the mother to stay home with them children. And sometimes that made it hard for me to want to go to treatment. My brother had to come in, and my sister had to come in. My daughters had to come in. People had to come in, and it took a village to raise me and my children up to become this finished product. But hope for me is just continue to get up and do the things that make me happy, and hoping that I can help somebody else so they can be able to stay on this side of the world.
Yeah, you definitely do that.
So you told us a little bit about some of the support you have. Now, are there certain groups or meetings that you may attend that helped you along the way?
One of my biggest, I'm a big cheerleader for Narcotic Anonymous. I'm sorry, y'all. I've been in Narcotic Anonymous since 1999.
Don't be sorry.
And I've done a lot of service work, like on levels where, you know, I've put dances together for people, you know. I also worked on convention levels where I also, you know, was like part of the fundraising entertainment. So I've always been like the entertainment part, like dancing or putting together like fashion shows because I like fashion.
And having fun in recovery.
And having fun in
Tina,
recovery,
aren't you an
yes.
ambassador too? I can't
Oh yeah, we didn't even touch on my
Yeah.
I'm also a breast cancer survivor.
huge thing.
Which is good.
I'm an ambassador for
Congratulations.
Walking for Strides. And if you're out there and you're a woman, make sure you follow up on your mammograms yearly.
There you go.
So along with, you know, attending groups and meetings, we have heard that you also run a meeting yourself.
Yes, I run a meeting at Stairway to Recovery, which is a great resource of information for people that need help. I run a group called Diamonds and Pearls, which is a 8-week series talking about, you know, self-care, self-help, and doing things that we need to put ourselves back together so we can help other people.
How often is that?
That meets 2 times a month at Stairway.
Oh, okay.
Is that directed towards women or men, or just directed right to women?
Either or, because I like to keep the doors open so everybody gets the help that they need. They, you know. Yes.
So why did you choose the name Diamonds and Pearls?
Because everybody's a diamond. Everybody needs an opportunity to shine, to show who they are. Because sometimes people come around and you really don't know who they are, and once they start talking, they can brighten up a whole room.
True.
So everybody needs that opportunity to shine.
Oh, okay.
And if I can be the one to pull that out, I want to be that one. Because sometimes when people even look at me, they don't look at a person that ever been broken. They just look at my outside exterior and they say, oh, she's so put together. Oh, but they don't know I have so many broken pieces to me, you understand? That I'm still a work in progress. And then when I start sharing my history and my story, people be like, wow. Breast cancer, thrown off a horse, lost both of my husbands, lost my first kid's father when I was 27 years old. He got murdered.
Yeah, there's a lot of loss, but you definitely still shine. Yeah, you definitely still
And
shine.
I'm here.
So I know you said that.
Diamond, because I am a peer leader down there, and I watch you do your groups. I watch how you handle people, how do you help them with housing. You are a diamond. With all that pressure that you had, and here you are, giving back to the community and being that diamond, that beacon that everybody's looking for.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
So after the 8 weeks and everybody completes these courses, what is the expectation or what is your mission statement for everyone when they come through the program?
It's to shine, and also by the time you complete Diamonds and Pearls, our hope is that you'll see yourself in the way we already see you, as a woman of strength, wisdom, and grace, a true diamond formed by pressure, a pearl shaped through perseverance.
Nice.
Nice.
I actually take her group. I've been doing her group for quite some time. And I have to say the self-love that you promote throughout that, I know that Mr. Darrell has helped us out in a big way with this, and you really do a great job with it. But I also think it's important to add that you trying to take the topics also from not only on the outside, but the inside as well with your other one you had for a minute, which is how to eat right and do those sorts of things. So you're a big advocate of taking care of yourself beyond just your recovery, but also just in their mainstream daily life habits, you know, proper hygiene, eating well, exercising, all those things that aren't necessarily in there, but that you bring to the center as well. So I want to say thank you for that.
Thank you, Nicole.
You also do eating healthy too there.
Yes, it's very important for us to learn how to eat to live once we're in recovery mode, because like now we're learning how to live, but now we got to learn how to make choices in the food that we eat that's going to sustain us for longer life, you understand? Because like everything we have in this world now is garbage.
And I remember when you made that hummus, that
Yes,
was killing them. That was homemade. That was like, this is healthy. I'm like, wow,
You know
this is really good.
Sometimes I feel like if it wasn't for me being like geared towards coming into Stairway to Recovery, some of these gifts may have not have come my way because I was trying to not come into Stairway. Because I really, for many years, my career was fitness and nutrition with adolescents 8 to 12, overweight, at risk.
Okay.
And all my girlfriends was working with people that was in addiction. I was like, I don't want to work with difficult people. But when I came to Stairway, I realized that like it's a place where you just really just meet people just where they are. And we're not trying to, you know, like overstep them or like control them. We're just trying to help them so they'll be able to have a better life or a better chance at this recovery.
So what could you say to someone that is kind of on the fence about coming into either Stairway or any other recovery center?
That's a good
The
question.
kind of same feeling that you had, what advice could you give them?
It's a good question.
I don't know, because see, when I first came in, I didn't know if I wanted to be a peer leader or I wanted to be a member. Being a member seemed more comfortable, but then when a peer leader position came up and I seen what a peer leader really done, that was more interesting to me. See, sometimes we don't know what people are coming in the door at Stairway for. So, but for me, I would tell them to keep coming here. You know, come as you are. Don't try to be anybody else. You know, ask for the things you need, because there's so many services there. Like, there's a gambling ambassador, there's peer leaders, there's members that help each other there on day to day. There's clothes, there's food, there's a lot of resources. The book club, we got housing, I do housing applications, and you know, we have Daryl doing the self-love group on Friday, and that's an awesome group.
Yep.
Because people need to learn self-love.
So if I could piggyback off of Ricky's question, what would you tell a person that's on the fence with trying to get sober? What words of wisdom would you say to me if I wasn't sure and I needed to get straight and I was like, Tina, where do I start?
I would tell them to start, the first thing would be is to go to treatment, to give yourself a break, to pull yourself away from your environment, your behavior, and go to long-term treatment and stay. Because when I did this 6 months treatment, my kids they thought I was going to come back to my apartment, but I could have never went back to my apartment because they had already, the squatters had already broken into my apartment, stole all my belongings, and I was never going to be able to go back there because I probably would have died if I went back. So you can't go back. You have to go forward.
That's good advice.
You got to stay in treatment. You got to just keep going forward. Whatever God
has
planned for you. Go through that pathway and stay there. And no matter what it is, like right now, there's so many pathways. There's even one do recovery. That's coming up. I'm going to be facilitating that.
Right.
And
don't you listen? You would make an excellent peer leader. I mean, not peer leader, recovery coach. That's what I meant to say. You would be somebody I could talk to and actually move forward. I've come in contact with people in the past where they just, you know what I mean? They're just like a wealth of information that's book ready, but not people ready. And I'm going to say that you definitely have a gift for gab, and that you would definitely inspire me to want to get fly and get, get myself together as you already did. You know, I have to thank you for a lot of things. I love you too.
Thank you. Here we go.
Tina, I have one question for you.
Yes.
One question. That's it.
Okay.
When you first stepped through that door at Stairway to Recovery, what was that vibe? The minute you opened that door and you seen all the people, what was that vibe?
Let me just think. The vibe was, this is where I need to be. It's not where I want to be at the time. So that need brought a desperation of wanting to be in that place, because I told you, for many years, my passion was working with families and children out of health centers. But now my passion has changed, and my career is heading in a totally different direction, because, you know, at this time I'm also interested, I'm getting ready to do the Recovery Coach Certificate in January.
Nice.
So I got that coming up, and every time I'm looking for, you know, to improve my life or my career, you know, enhance my work, it says recovery coach is needed everywhere.
Everywhere.
So once I get that paper, you know, I'm looking to, you know, excel myself, you know, because I want to be back into the Boston area, but I'm not going to forget about Stairway Recovery because it gave me so many opportunities, you know. When I first came in there, Darryl came in there. I think we kind of came together.
Yeah,
and,
you did. I
and
was
so,
there.
you know,
Both of
I
yous
mean,
coming in the
when I
door.
met Darryl, he had so many opportunities, and he's so smart.
Yeah.
And he's so much of a mastermind where he's a thinker.
Yeah,
So he
he
likes
is.
to think outside the box. And he was overthinking me. We both Geminis. He's telling me ideas. So we both fast thinkers, and you know, and so that's when he said, when he passed me diamonds and pearls, that's
Yep.
the best thing he could have done. So thank you, Darryl. That shout out goes out to you. Because that was like giving me like
Purpose?
my purpose and my passion to do some more. You know, with the people that was in Stairway to Recovery.
Now, if I ask you, has recovery been fun for you?
It has been fun, and it also has been rewarding.
Absolutely.
There you
Rewarding, yes.
Absolutely.
Rewarding, yes, rewarding, yes.
And for me, from what I saw when I first met you, you know, I think I was at the desk when you two walked in, but
Yes.
when I first met you, and when you came in and started doing what you do, the way you connected with people, the way I was like, oh, this woman is good. We already pegged her as a peer leader. But what I'm saying to you, I have seen amazing things from you
Thank you,
in a short time
thank you.
from when I met you. And that is the greatest thing about recovery. I gotta say that. I have seen so many people come through that door, not too sure about it, but once they get into it and feel that vibe, look out, because all of a sudden, that diamond that we talked about that's in the rough
Yes,
starts
it's shining,
shining.
that's right.
Yep. Anybody
Thank
else
you.
want to share with that?
So now stage is yours. You got minute, 2 minutes. You can say whatever
you
you
want.
want.
Thank you, everybody, for having me on this podcast. I really was kind of shy because I don't like really talking about myself out loud, but it gave me an opportunity to share pieces and bits of me to the world. So, you know,
Good.
a lot of people don't know about me because I'm quiet, especially when it comes to like my upbringing from my dad, because I don't share about that. But unless I really feel like it needs to be shared. And Nicole, I shared it because she's from California, so we relate to that.
Cali.
Yes.
awesome.
Look out,
Yes.
Cali.
Oakland.
Cali in the house.
I just want to say thank you for having me.
No,
And
thank you for
coming.
coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. At the end of that, having said all that, I just want to know, is there anything that you guys might want to let us know about?
Actually, I do. You
Okay.
can never shut me up. We do have a holiday bash.
Okay.
It's the 23rd of this month. It's open to our community. Everybody is welcome to come. We're going to have food. We're going to have little giveaways. All we want you to do is just come in, check the center, check the people, and actually reconnect with our community.
So wait, so you're saying that it's open to everybody?
Open to everybody.
Okay, so no need to necessarily suffer from
No
a
need to know.
substance use disorder. You can just come on
You
in,
can come right in.
see what the center's about, see what what resources they have, and go from there.
Every once in a while,
Okay.
we do get like the mayor comes in there and a few
Okay.
people come in and hang out with us for a little bit. They have, you know, they're busy, but they spend a little time
Good
with us.
stuff.
And I remember last year, we had a blast.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that the people in the community
Yep,
don't feel,
absolutely.
you know, like they can't come if they're not a member, or they're not a peer, or they're not in recovery.
We want them to come in
Okay.
because we're trying to get rid of that stigma
Okay,
of addiction. It should be substance use disorder.
okay.
Okay.
It's a disease.
But it is
disorder.
mostly for community purposes and
In
saying
more-
in
mainly for
community,
community purposes.
everybody that's in the community.
Everybody.
Yep.
All right, fair enough.
Man. So, anybody else?
I just want to say thank you to Stairway, thank you to Gandara for allowing us to have this. Thank you for listening in on Elevation, a Stairway to Recovery podcast. Let's elevate together.
Yes, right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
And I'd like to give out a shout out, like I always do, to our producer back there, our two producers, Daryl and Michelle. We hear you out there.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank Brockton Community Access
Absolutely.
here
Yes.
for letting us do this here. And keep on coming.
Yeah.
That's
That's
all we can
right.
say.
Yeah.
Keep on coming. And you got to believe in yourself 100%. Love yourself. That's the trick. Okay?
Diamonds and pearls.
Diamonds and pearls, you heard
Yes.
that? We also have the Love Group
Shine
there,
bright.
Love Yourself, that is run by Daryl. We have an amazing groups, amazing people. You would be amazed when you walk into that center. We have that, remember that beautiful, we got that beautiful mural that was just put up
Yeah.
in the game room?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Maybe we can put up a copy of the calendars. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So people can see all the different events that are there at the center, so that way they can see everything that goes on.
Well, they can go on our Facebook page.
Oh, that.
Oh, okay.
What is
Stairway
that?
to Recovery Facebook page.
Great.
So for me, I'm Patrick, I'm one of the hosts. I'm gonna close out and say, thank you for joining us. Anybody else wanna just close it out?
No.
Introduce yourself.
Thanks
I'm
for
Tina.
listening.
Thanks for listening to me.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Tina.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
For
you,
having me.
team.